人は死ぬぞ。
Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to the first of the two Stampede-related filler episodes with episode 895. For the past three One Piece films, the anime has had short filler arcs for each film that are known for being fairly poor. Strong World had the Little East Blue arc, Film Z had the Z's Ambition arc, and Film Gold had the Silver Mine arc, which despite having some sakuga here and there, were mostly take-it-or-leave-it filler episodes that just felt poorly made overall. They're strictly made to have extra advertising for their respective movies, and because of that, they just feel hollow. They don't bring many new interesting things to the table, and they instead just make you wonder when you're going to go back to canon material. That same feeling is felt even more so with the Stampede filler episodes coming in during the very start of Wano and breaking up the hype of it a bit. It doesn't help much that the staff for these filler episodes are actually fairly strong, with the staff for the first episode being Yutaka Nakashima and Masahiro Kitazaki. This pair was responsible for the big mom fight on the Sunny in episode 864, which displayed fairly simple but effective direction from Nakashima, and very bold and intense looking character art from Kitazaki that was filled to the brim with thick lines. Their work on the anime dates back to Thriller Bark and Punk Hazard respectively, so they're at least seasoned in that regard, but if Naoki Tate couldn't even save past movie filler, then I don't even know if they really can. With filler characters that don't look that much better than the ones before them, save for a few, is this movie filler really going to break the mold of past ones, or will it just be as meh as the rest of them? Well, at the very least, it's a decent filler episode that mainly relies on the anime's new visual tricks to make it work.
Baka! Anta!
Out of everything in the entire episode, the storyboard is absolutely the selling point. Nakashima's not necessarily known for being an absolutely outstanding director, but he's definitely one who can add flair to an otherwise boring episode, and he delivered with this episode. Taking some cues from co-series director Kohei Kureta, Nakashima's board is hell-bent on making this episode look stylish. Through various cool angles and visual cues in main action scenes, as well as during slice-of-life material, Nakashima spices up normal scenes and makes them a lot more visually interesting to look at. The contents of the episode itself are a bit boring, but Nakashima throws in so much visual flair to such mundane scenes that the episode at least stays consistently pretty. It's for sure not one of the best boards that the anime has seen, but it shows where Nakashima's talents really lie. He's not a Nagamine level director at all, but he's a skilled director who can make even the simplest of storyboards feel more visually cool. It also can't be understated just how much the new composite helps out these weaker episodes. The cool visual upgrade that the show has received since the start of Wano helps out even the smallest of shots, making the show feel a lot less bland and visually drab than it did before. It makes the world and what's happening on screen feel alive and believable, and for that to shine through even in a movie tie-in episode is amazing. All these aspects put together made for a really cool episode to look at overall, even if the content of it was rather boring and frankly a bit forced. But I'll certainly take a cool looking filler episode over a boring one any day, so this filler at least has that going for it. In terms of animation, there's not a whole lot to really talk about here. Most of the cool sakuga that the episode has is limited to our supervisor Masahiro Kitazaki's own key animation. The fight on the Sunny at the start of the episode is all Kitazaki, with it being chock full of his usual smears and rudimentary but interesting looking effects work. It's not anything that's really going to turn any heads, and it is rather small in the grand scheme of things, but Kitazaki's style and movement is stylish enough to make it noteworthy. But there's nothing else sakuga-wise really. It's really Kitazaki's art that is the main draw here, with his famous thick lines being powered up thanks to the new line filter. His corrections are just as bold as they ever were, and while that definitely does make it look odd on characters like Chopper, I'd be hard pressed to say that it doesn't stand out and make for some really striking looking shots. In addition to Kitazaki though, it seems that our character designer Midori Matsuda has popped up to clean up a few shots here and there. It's not an abundance of shots as they are a bit scattered throughout the episode, but it's interesting nonetheless to see her pop up uncredited to correct a few shots. It makes a bit of sense considering that Ichikawa seems to not be touching these episodes at all, but it makes me wonder if we'll maybe see any more uncredited corrections from her in the future. If I had to guess, she was probably brought in to make this episode look as decent as it could be, and honestly, decent is definitely the word that I'd use to describe this episode overall. It's surely not some amazing filler episode, and it's hardly going to be one that a lot of people will remember, but unlike a lot of the other movie filler, it kept my interest. The plot was rather boring, sure, but I feel like the visual side of the episode more than makes up for the shortcomings of the episode's story. Now, as far as next week is concerned, well, that just looks insanely good for a filler episode. Hiroyuki Sato and Shigefume Shingaki's episode seems to be packed with a really cool looking board and action from none other than Yoshikazu Tomita, so it should hopefully be a bit more interesting to talk about overall. There seems to be some secret Inoue art in the preview, so I'm very interested to see what this episode has in store. Anyways guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and I really hope the cute filler girl actually gets to do something next week.